Now, there's a terrible war being fought in Sudan right now and another in Nigeria. Last week, our senators condemned one, but not the other. Senators of all parties agreed to acknowledge the terrible conflict in Sudan, where the Muslim government is fighting a bloody battle against Muslim rebels. But there was no such agreement when One Nation Senator Malcolm Roberts sought to include condemnation of Islamist terror groups slaughtering Christians in Nigeria. Roberts asked the Senate to condemn, and I'm quoting here, the escalating terror campaign against Christians in Nigeria by Islamic terror organisations Boko Haram, Islamic State of West Africa Province and Fulani militants, which has resulted in more than 20,000 deaths of innocent civilians for their religious beliefs. Now, Labor and the Greens, along with Senator David Pocock, all voted no. There would be no condemnation from the Australian Senate of Islamic jihadists killing Christians in Nigeria. And besides, Nigerian officials claim the Islamic terrorists are attacking people of other religions too, and they would claim that, wouldn't they? Green Senator David Shoebridge insisted that the amendment proposed by Senator Roberts simplified what was a very complex situation.
Our hearts and our minds and hopefully the actions of this government go out to the Sudanese people right now. We don't support the amendment because it simplifies a far more complex conflict.
Time has expired, Senator Shoebridge. So the question is that the amendment as moved by Senator Roberts be agreed to. Those of that opinion say aye. Against? I believe the noes have it.
You know that old chestnut, the magic word politicians use when they don't want to pick a side. It's all just very complex. When Muslims kill Muslims in Sudan, well, that's genocide. But when Muslims kill Christians in Nigeria, 7,000 this year at the rate of 35 murders a day, according to one NGO report, well, that's complex. And so our senators decided there was no way that in good conscience they could describe Muslims killing Christians as a case of Muslims killing Christians. As an article in The Conversation helpfully explained, violence in Nigeria is driven by more than religion alone, with land disputes, politics, ethnicity, historical grievances and inequality all playing a part. So if I'm reading that correctly, they're saying religion is not the only cause of violence. After all, Muslims are killing Christians over land disputes, and Muslims are killing Christians over political differences. Muslims are killing Christians over historical grievances. Muslims are killing Christians over perceived inequality, and Muslims are even killing Christians over theological differences. See how it's far too complex to characterise the violence in Nigeria as a case of Muslims killing Christians? Senator Malcolm Roberts wasn't asking for a condemnation of Muslims generally or even of Islam. He was asking for a condemnation of listed Islamist terror organisations, Boko Haram and ISIS. But Labor and the Greens couldn't even bring themselves to do that. Sure, ISIS terrorists are beheading Christians in Nigeria, but you've got to understand it's complex. And sure, Boko Haram jihadists like to rape Christian Nigerian women, but you've got to understand denouncing it is a little simplistic. Please. US President Donald Trump has threatened to intervene militarily in order to save the lives of Nigerian Christians. But here in Australia, Labor and the Greens couldn't even bring themselves to move a motion condemning the violence. Why? Well, because the amendment was too specific. It named Muslim terrorists as the aggressors and Christian civilians as the victims. If only Senator Malcolm Roberts didn't insist on being so simplistic, by which I mean accurate. So there you have it. In the Australian Senate, condemning Muslims killing Muslims, well, that's morally courageous. Condemning Muslims killing Christians, that's just a little bit too complicated.